So this is a 5.5, which is function composition. It's pretty basic. You shouldn't have a problem with it if you understand what it's asking. You know, like number one is f times g. And it's not a hard problem. I guess for some kids it is. We've got f, which is x squared plus 2x plus 1. We're supposed to multiply it by g, which is x minus 4. And we just get to use the double distributive property. So we're going to x all three pieces. All right, we'll get x cubed plus 2x squared plus x. And then I'm going to 4 all three pieces. I'm actually working right to left. So plus 4x squared plus, sorry, not plus, minus 8x, and then minus 4. Then we combine like terms. Let's see here. We've got an x cubed. We've got negative 2x squared. We have an x and a negative 8x minus 7x, and then minus 4. By all means, check that. It's pretty early in the morning and I'm pretty tired. Now, as far as your domain is input that has output. Now, if you look at this function, you can plug any number in the world into it. This thing will accept any real number. If you give it a 1, it's going to return a number. If you give it a 2, it's going to return a number. If you throw a 0 at it, it's going to return a number. So its domain is just negative infinity to infinity, or all values of x such that x is an element of the real. So that one's not too bad. The ones you got to be careful about with domain, for the most part, are like number 2. Number 2 is f over g. And f over g is simply x squared plus 2x plus 1. And it's being divided by x minus 4. I don't know how easier I can make that. Now I know that for 1 over anything, the anything cannot be 0. So I know that x minus 4 cannot be a 0, which means that x cannot be 4. That's it. X isn't 4. If I like set builder notation, I'm all values of x such that x is not 4. If I like interval notation, I'm negative infinity to 4, union with 4 to infinity. That's how hard that one is. I'm not going to do 3, 4, 5. You can figure those out. If not, you can ask. Here we have some more function composition. It's not too bad. I think I'll probably do 11 and 12. 11 is got that funky looking function notation, g of f of 2, which is equivalent to g of f of 2. That's what it looks like. So when I do 11, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find f of 2. I'm going to work my way out. I can find f of 2 by simply plugging a 2 in right there. So f of 2 is 4 times 2 minus 5, which is 3. And now since I know that this is 3, I'm going to find g of 3 by going to g and plugging in a 3. And that's how hard the problem is. I mean, there's my answer. Maybe I'll do 10 instead of 12. 10 is f of g of x, which would be thought of like this. And that means that I let every x in f be g of x. That. Because that's what g of x is. So there's a 4, then there's an x, and that x becomes negative 7x. And then there's that minus 5. 4 times 7 is 28. So negative 28x, because it was positive times the negative, minus 5. That's not too bad. Do 14, which is golf of x, g of f of x. 13 is actually harder. Let's do 13. 13 is f of g of x. And g of x is 9 minus 2x, which means that every x becomes 9 minus 2x. So this is going to be, there's an x squared. I'm going to take 9 minus 2x. I'm going to square it. There's a plus, and then plus x, which is going to become 9 minus 2x. Now to square something, I write it twice. Nine times 9 is 81. 9 times negative 2 is minus 18. 9 times negative 2 is minus 18. Negative times a negative is positive. 2 times 2 is 4. X times x is x squared. And I combine like terms. It looks like there's a 4x squared. That's negative 36, negative 38x. And 9 and 81 makes what, 90? I'm not going to do 14. Let's see, the last one I'm going to do is a word problem. Cost in dollars to produce X shovels in a factory is given by the function cost as a function of X is 20X plus 500. The number of shovels that can be produced in H hours is given by the function X as a function of H is 30H, meaning we can produce 30 shovels per hour. And you're supposed to find a rule for cost as a function of X of H. So they just want you to make that X of H, you're going to find C of 30H, which means we let the X in C of X be 30H. So there's a 20, and then there's an X, and that X becomes that 30H, and plus 500. 20 times 30 ought to be 600, so 600H plus 500. That is the cost to produce X shovels. So find the cost when H is 8 hours. That'd be 600 times 8 plus 500, which is 3,500. No. Brain fart. 5,300, presumably dollars. There we go. And that's it. That's all the homework I'm doing. I hope it was enough. If not, all you gotta do is ask me, and I'll go over it. But you gotta ask, kids.